Fuel economy is 29 mpg. Now, the base price for the Palisade is around $39,000, and if you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, this, of course, is a real-world 7-day review, so we have a couple special elements, including our fuel economy.
In today's market. So the Hyundai Santa Fe used to be a mid-size crossover, but it is now a kind of more than mid-size crossover. It's got third row seats. It didn't used to have that before the
Palisade. Overall vehicle length is 199.2 inches, which does mean this new generation did grow a little bit. We'll talk about overall interior space in just a little bit. Now, as far as design, we do have a little bit of
38 grand if you want cloth seats and you don't care about all-wheel drive, or you load it up and you spend an extra, 12 to 14,000 and you're in Land Rover territory. Great safety features, everything that you'd want.
SEL Convenience, SEL Premium, Limited, XRT Pro, and then Calligraphy. Once you go to the hybrid, you only get 3 different options: SEL, SEL Premium, and then Calligraphy. So, trim levels in the hybrid.
Which is kind of rare for a vehicle in this segment to have a front-wheel drive hybrid option. That can get up to 34 mpg with the blue model. However, how's our real-world fuel economy been holding?
Top, see it right here, conveniently obstructed by the intake. Talk about that. 2-piece cylinder head at the top, so you have one piece that has the cams and the caps and everything, and the second.
The question that I asked at the beginning of the video, should you pick this up over a Hyundai Palisade? So that's a very particular question. If you can make do with a short kind of
Breaking down some individual elements, of course, up here in the grille, we've got a squared off shape with a lot of silver accents. You also have a little light bar that runs across the center section. And then since today we have the calligraphy trim level
seat, and then a extra sunroof that's just for the second row passengers. You've got a smart wool kind of Alcantara-esque headliner. It feels absolutely fantastic. And since we've already
an automatic climate control system, we can just use the knob there to adjust the temperature up and down. Then you have a small touch panel here with some of your other functions, including the heated steering wheel and your heated seats.
These seats are 20-way adjustable. They still have the Nappa leather, same as the back ones. Obviously, that would be kind of lame if it didn't have that. But super adjustable seats. They can move forward, backward. They have a power
Palisade. Everything is covered in the front. You do have access for your regular service for oil change. Everything else, that cover has to come out. Let's take a look at the front suspension here. So
other features that Hyundai is including. So you have a household outlet right here, front and center. And then you'll notice that we have an extra storage cubby here. That's because, kind of half of the top of the console is divided here in the rear.
In front of me. So this thing passes the car camping test with flying colors. Probably about 6 foot from toe of the trunk all the way to the passenger seat, and that seat could actually go up quite a bit further. It's also really
piece of leather, feels nice, looks really nice. You have several colors you can choose from. We've got obviously the full brown option, but you can also get some other color choices as well. And you'll notice down below that the seats
start with the mechanical construction from the top. You do have a plastic valve cover. You do have a 2-piece cylinder head. One piece houses the cams, and the other one is a cylinder head where the valves and everything is. This does have dual overhead valve. It does have a mechanical water pump, which is a surprise. I mean, I wish they would have got rid of that, but it works. But the location. So this has one stretch belt that goes, the water pump is all over.
Back to Rally Scorpion, just different size, 265 by 45 by 21. Suspension is going to be different between the two. You get McPherson shot suspension with coil springs for the front, but
that's very important. Having said that, let's talk about a few things under the hood here that are interesting. First, the hybrid unit, or the inverter, however they call it. This is basically the brains of the operation. This is what battery being buried in the car, not really here, but you do have jump points right here. Having said that, let's just talk about something, and we're gonna talk more about this throughout the video. And there's another motor called the hybrid starter generator, which we'll talk about in a moment. So this big motor that sits between the engine and transmission, it can drive the car, so powers the transmission.
This is also the digital camera rear view mirror, and you have your HomeLink universal remotes located right there. Up top, we have a very premium suede headliner, which feels super
seconds, and the gas gives you 8.1 seconds. Curb weight is going to be different as well, obviously, because they are different sizes. And here in the Santa Fe, you're going to start at 4,431.
Of that armrest, moving to the sunroof in the driver cabin, this thing actually opens. Overall, driver cabin is absolutely beautiful. You've got a nice soft touch dashboard with stitch lines.
They're a turbo hybrid. And here's the output for the Palisade as well. So that's going to be our first difference. Let's go ahead and discuss about the MPG. That's going to be another difference. In the Santa Fe Hybrid, you're going to get 35.
Here's my favorite thing, and this is something we just discovered. Watch these 2 second row seats when I fold them down. You're losing the race.
To be about 32 inches. So pretty big differences in numbers as far as the measurements in inches goes. And then I'm going to show you really quick what the Palisade looks like with those additional controls.
I like that they leave you 2 doors, one for the oil filter, one for the drain plug. I like that for just simple service. You don't have to remove this entire cover. Let's take a look at the front suspension here. Lower control.
In addition to the power sliding and reclining, you additionally have a heated third row, and that's going to be included on limited and calligraphy. And then you have vents coming out of the ceiling. So overall,
Palisade, we've also tested that out on the channel as well if you want to check it out. As smooth and nice as that is, the one thing that people could certainly complain about is that it was a little bit sluggish overall, and this really
Nostrils that open. It's for good measure. These are like air dams that open and close. But otherwise, other than the
$100 less, but it's going to be pretty darn good in the snow with that all-wheel drive setup. We've mentioned the adaptive cruise control already, but it also has a really good 360-degree parking camera. It will actually render the vehicle.
or you can also use the blind spot camera system. Now you have rain sensing wipers, and as we pull back to the steering wheel, we have a beautiful 2-tone design here on the calligraphy trim. Of course, it is going to be heated.
Confuse you. Based on the color you're going to get, a lot of things are going to change too. But you do have the same controls here for the left side, the same controls for the right side, paddle shifters, lever control for the lights, lever control for